Hey, what's up, everybody? JC Everyday Thoughts is in the building tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? All right, how's everybody doing today? What's going on, Hill? What's going on, Asia? How's everybody doing tonight? Your boy JC's in the building tonight. Tonight's topic is sex in the black community. So everybody gather around. Y'all already know what time it is, you know. What's going on, Sherelle? What's going on, Daphne? What's going on? What's going on, Jolly? How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on, Theresa? What's going on? Just waiting for Angelo to come join me, and I'm gonna start it up. So, what's going on, Charlene? What's going on, Connie? How's everybody doing tonight? What's good, brother?
Hey, what's up?
Good, chilling. What's good with you, man?
Enjoying my enjoying my off night.
All right. How's your mom doing? She all right?
She's doing okay, but I put her back in the hospital tonight because I don't want to take no chances. With her being in pain and her pain medicine gone right now and everything. I don't want to take no chances, so I put her back in the hospital right now. That's probably the best thing right now.
Okay. How was your Easter, man?
It was it was good, even though I had to work. It was good.
Okay. So yeah, let's jump into it. Tonight's topic is sex in the black community. This is something that you brought up. You wanted to discuss this. What's your take on it?
Well, actually, it's the six rule the
Oh
black
yeah,
community.
yeah,
The six rule black people.
yeah.
And I would say in a lot of ways it does. In a lot of ways it does because our people put up a lot of posts on Facebook regarding sex, talking about sex. Everybody likes sex if it feels good. If it's good sex, yes, everybody likes sex, but that shouldn't be your main that shouldn't be your main thing in life. That shouldn't be your main focus in life. Sex shouldn't cloud your common sense. You shouldn't allow sex to cloud your common judgment. A lot of our people, especially, the black men confuse sex with power. Other races there are, I got a post about, how other races, the Jews, the Latinos, Italians, the Asian people, they arguing and fighting over resources. They arguing and fighting over money, over wealth, over power, over business ownership. Our people on Facebook arguing over sex. I mean, who can smash it the best? I mean, what woman can give a blowjob the best? I mean, that's counterproductive, people. That's not putting one scrap of wealth in your pocket. It's not. I mean, we as a black community, we're too wrapped up in too much foolishness, too much superficial stuff. We wrapped up in too many things that's not going to benefit us in any type of way. And sex has been the downfall of the black community in a lot of cases. I mean, a lot of cases. One of the biggest, most extreme cases I see is this. You have a brother out there. Say you got a brother out there. He got a baby mama. He was with the girl. The relationship didn't work out. That's his children's mother. Let's say they got about 2 or 3 kids together. Now, because me and Asia talked about this once. You got some black men out there who they won't take care of the family that they already got. They won't take care of their kids. They won't take care of their family. But this isn't really to the topic because of the sex thing. The brother, he'll go out there and get pussy whooped by some other female with some kids, and he won't take care of the kids he got, but he'll go across town and take care of that girl's family. And then sex is allowing him not to use good common judgment because here that other female is, she whipping it on him, then she buzzing in his ear. Oh, y'all ain't together no more. You ain't got to do nothing for them children. Look, first of all, shouldn't no sex be ruling whether or not you do for your children? If that's your seed, it's essential that you do for it. And another thing, brothers, ain't no real woman gonna tell no man not to take care of his children. A real woman is not a real straight up woman who about her business. She's not gonna even respect a man who doesn't take care of his kids. If you let a female, you go out there and get ruled by sex, you let a female put a buzz in your ear like that. Let me tell you something, brothers. That female who don't pee whipped you or whatever, you let her put a bug in your ear like that, you get in trouble. She's not gonna be the one who gonna be in trouble. She's not gonna be the one who gonna risk going to jail for not paying child support. She's not gonna be the one who gonna risk getting her driver's license suspended or revoked. She's not the one gonna risk all that, brother. You are. So people shouldn't be sex is fine in its place, but you can't let sex rule you can't allow it to rule your common sense, your common judgment. Same way with sisters. I mean, I've seen sisters with guys who just, literally have no respect for them whatsoever, but because Mr. Swag Tavis, because his peen good, she'll put up with any level of disrespect from that brother. Any level of disrespect. Don't care if he go share it with somebody else as long as she getting it. They go back to what we were talking about last week, the sex thing, the CD, the community did, It's like I said, it's too many diseases out here, too much stuff going on, for our people, to be ruled by sex. So like I said, other nationalities out there, the Jews, when the Jews had a party for their teenage boys when they turned 13, had that celebration the Jews call a bar mitzvah when they sons turned 13. By the time they sons are 13, show you how much the Jews gathered together. By the time they sons are 13, they already have a huge started life. They already have mass wealth passed on to them. They already owning property. They already owning 3 or 4 cars I'm talking about at the age of 13 now. They already owning 3 or 4 cars that the family don't pass on to them. And I ain't talking about no clunk. I'm not talking about no clunker cars now. I ain't talking about something you gonna drive for 5 minutes and break down on you on the side of the road. I mean, these some quality showroom type cars, quality cars. They leaving today, to their sons when they turn 13, Jews, Italians, Asians, they not emasculated in sex like we are. I mean, I understand that this obsession with sex in society was created by the oppressor. It was created by the white man. But we got to stop falling for so much stuff that the oppressor throws out there at us. Because like I said, the oppressor throws it out there because, like the porn industry is $1 billion industry. $1 billion industry. Some of the most beautiful women in the world work in the porn industry. Gorgeous queens on camera degrading themselves, doing all kind of degrading sex acts just for the almighty dollar. That's being ruled by sex. And our people, we need to do better. We need to be more focused on
building.
We need to be more focused on community building. You know, we need to be focused more on building a future for our children. You know, we need to be focused, you know, more on, you know, improving our neighborhoods, getting some of this crime down, you know. Just like, okay, this, like this sex, it's going back to this sex thing, this topic. Okay, some of our sisters, some of our beautiful black queens, you know, one of the main things they fuss about is running the drug dealers, getting the drug dealers out of our community. They don't need the drug dealers around their children. They don't need the drug dealers around the community. It's a dangerous, unproductive situation for the black community having drug dealers around. But by the same token, though, Jonathan, we got some of our beautiful black women, they laying up having sex with the drug dealers. You know, they screwing the drug dealers, especially the ones who are, you know, who are amassing some wealth, you know. Again, that's being controlled, that's being ruled by sex, being ruled by the almighty dollar, you know, being ruled by things that, you know, us as, you know, as black people have no business being ruled by. Then I'm gonna tell you, you know, about this brother, you know, I mean, I love his talent, but I don't love him as a person. You know, see, sex also allows the black community to literally sell their children down the river, you know, for the price of their soul, or for the price of a little bit of change or what have you. Who I'm talking about R. Kelly. You know, he's gonna allow sex to rule him. You know, I understand that brother got some psychological issues, and I understand, you know, it's my understanding that R. Kelly was sexually abused himself and what have you. Still, wrong is wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. Ain't no grown man got no business, you know, having no harem of underage girls at his home that he having sex with. Then he's paying the parents hush money, you know, to be quiet about the situation. See, that's why this thing with R. Kelly has blown up so now after all these years. See, his little hush money don't ran out for him paying those parents, you know, to be having sex with their daughters and what have you. And, you know, and now the chicken's coming home to roost with R. Kelly. You know, like I said, I can respect the talent without respecting the person. It used to be a time in the black community, like I said a while back, where you had the black men would try to be mentors to the, you know, to the teenage girls, to the young queens in our community. But now, since, you know, sex, unquote, sex is ruling our community, so it's taking a huge turn for the worse. You know, the brothers now, you know, who was trying to mentor the young ladies, they've been replaced by low-life brothers who trying to sleep with these young ladies now. Instead of mentoring the young black queens, teenage queens in the community now, you got brothers trying to sleep with them. I'll tell you something, Jonathan. I don't have any daughters. You know, I got a few goddaughters, but I don't have any daughters per se. Both of my children are boys. Both of them are grown. I have sons. I don't have any daughters. I'm gonna tell you something. If some cat my age was looking at one of my daughters in a sexual manner, if I had daughters, I ain't gonna lie, I'd probably be in jail. I'd probably be ready to blow that fool's ass off, for real. I mean, because he, you know, he way out of line. He way out of order. I mean, because if he's got some daughters, he don't want nobody he don't want no grown man looking at his teenage daughters in no sexual manner like that, you know. So why would he want to look at somebody's daughters in a sexual manner like that, you know? Us in the black community, I mean, we've just we've just allowed sex to poison us, you know, to turn us from kings and queens to into something we not. I mean, oh, because believe it or not, I mean, there was a time when we were kings and queens. I mean, during segregation, black people were together. The man and the woman, they were both equals in the home. We had our own businesses, you know, and us as a community, we looked out for each other. Really, in a lot of ways, integration has ruined our people because we don't have that sense of community anymore in the black community. You know, the things that were good and wholesome kept us together as black people now have been replaced by all kind of evil stuff. Been replaced by the sex, been replaced by the dope, been replaced by the guns, been replaced by the gang banging, you know, been replaced by black boys who ain't nothing but 10 or 11 years old, don't already made up in their mind that, you know, that they gay. How in the hell does a 10 or 11-year-old child determine that, make that lifelong determination about their sexuality that they gay? I mean, I don't understand. Can you explain that, Jonathan?
Oh, you
Ain't
talking
no
about
10-year,
you talking about Dwayne
ain't
Wade?
no 10, yes, ain't no 10-year-old son gonna come to me talking about, daddy, I'm gay. He gonna, his ass now, no, son, we going to a psychologist, you know. We going to see a psychiatrist. I mean, because something is obviously wrong with you. If God made you with a bat and two balls, and you talking about you want to put a dress on, you think you want to put powder puff on, you talking about you a woman trapped inside of a man's body, and all of that. I mean, we've just been poisoned, completely poisoned by the influence of sex and by the influence, you know, of the European. So, what are your thoughts on it, Jonathan?
No, I mean my thoughts.
And hey, what's up, Priscilla? My beautiful little sister, Priscilla. What's up?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Hold on, let me do a shout out. What's going
What's up?
on, Sonya? What's going on, Corin? Miss Covington, Campbell.
That's my girl, Miss Covington.
Well, yeah, she really active. What's going on, Valerie? Lucina, Crystal, Isha, Chrissy, Nia, Miss Collier, Jemiah, Denisha, Jamie. What's going on, everybody? Terrence. But yeah, though, when you said about when you talked about a man knowing his sexuality, 11 years old, I wasn't even into women. I wasn't really into women like that. So, you know, for a man to avoid that early to know about his sexuality, um, it could be a red flag. But at the same time, though, I mean, you know that you like women or you like girls at that age too. So you can't really, blame the child too. Because I know for me, I wasn't really into girls like that. I was into like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, playing Madden, 2K, etc. I wasn't really into like girls and stuff like that at that young of an age. But it has evolved as far as sexuality is pouring into these young kids, and you see it a lot entertainment wise, and you do see a lot just the media is being pushed down kids' throat, and teenagers' throats as well too.
Like Magic Johnson's song.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't care what nobody say to me. That's disgusting. I mean, that's disgusting. He know he ain't no woman. I mean, got his butt poked out like a woman. Got all that loud glitter on, and I mean, wrist just as limp. I mean, it's like the black male just don't became all the way emasculated. Pretty soon, a lot of our beautiful black queens ain't gonna even have nobody to marry. They not gonna be able to find a husband in a lot of cases. It's almost to that point right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's either the guy, he's on the down low, he's gay, or he's married, so it's always been tough for women to try to choose somebody. You don't really know what you're gonna get into. But as far as, sex in general, how it how it clouds people's memory. I don't feel like a lot of people just, focus enough. I feel like you had that ambition, you had that drive when you was a little kid. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a scientist, etc. When you was a little kid, but ever since you start seeing some ass and titties, like your whole mindset changes, and now it's like you trying to do everything for the woman and stuff, trying to get her approval and stuff, and you trying to lose focus on your goals, your aspirations and stuff. You trying to focus on her, etc. So I just feel like a lot of brothers, we just kind of distracted. We're not really focused on our needs, our proving ourselves, our finances, our health. It's just everything. It's just always have to be about sex, 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 and it's like it's okay in moderation, but you always got to be focused on your grind. You also be focused on your vision, your purpose in life too. And a lot of guys are not really focused enough. They're so worried about, when next time I'm gonna get some booty, when next time I'm gonna get leg, etc. Instead of just, just focus on what they need to focus on as a man. Work on their health,
Yes,
body,
sir.
etc. Work on their mind too. It's really just sad that we're not really focused enough, and that's why you see a lot of men not really being, higher up. With everything is just overly socialized and stuff.
And then another thing I notice about, a lot of black men who try to focus on sex, try to round up how many honeys they can get and what have you. Like you just said, a lot of them brothers, they not only don't have any type of real drive as far as controlling their own destiny, as far as building wealth and whatever. I mean, they may have a job. They may even have a job to pay decent. Anybody can have a job. That ain't nothing. Anybody can get on a job and stay on a job and show a little interest in a job, and accumulate a little change. That ain't nothing. Do you want white man's type wealth? Do you want to own something? Do you want to build something? Do you want to leave a foundation to your children? See, a lot of men who focus on sex, I notice another thing about them, Jonathan. A lot of black men, they base they bravado and they machismo and they machoism on the accomplishments of other men. I'm gonna explain it to you. It's a lot of brothers who die-hard sports fans. They can tell you how many. They can tell you how many record yards Tom Brady done threw a football. They can tell you how many. They can tell you how many championships the Dallas Cowboys done won ever since back in 1978. They tell you how many NBA championships. They tell you about Michael Jordan and him and all that. Jonathan, some of these brothers can even go so far as to tell you the women that these men on dated. That's them men's lives. They live in their star. They live in their shining star. You need to try to live your shining star, brother. You sitting up bragging about something of another man, something that another man don't accomplish. And a lot of times, them brothers like that, they can't brag about anything that they've accomplished. They can't brag about anything they've accomplished. That's why me personally, I'm gonna pick up the mantle and get more focused into pursuing my goal of becoming a successful, independent black comic book creator. I'm trying to let my own star shine. It's not benefiting me bragging on how many women Michael Jordan done banged, how many women Jay-Z done banged before he got with Beyonce, and some after he done been with Beyonce. That's not benefiting me. How I look as a man, as a brother, as a black man, how do I look as a king bragging on somebody else's accomplishments? And, I can't tell you nothing great that Angelo has accomplished. That don't make sense. How I look bragging on somebody else, that's his. I'm sitting there bragging on Will Smith. That's Will Smith's $50 million mansion that him and Jada Pinkett stay in. That ain't got one iota to do with me. I need to be trying to be focused on me and mine. I may never see the money that Will Smith, is seeing, but I can still be the best Angelo. I can be great in my own way and leave a mark on the world, just like Nipsey Hussle. The man had money. He didn't have the money that Will Smith had, but he was still a strong black man, the man that his mark on the world. And I plan on leaving my mark on the world. We are too saturated in sex. You're not gonna leave your mark on the world concerned with how much booty you can get, how many booty calls you can make, you know, how many texts go come back, you know, from the honeys, you know, and it's something wrong with you mentally anyway. If all you see a woman as is a sex object and not as a person, because I've been in my job 23 years, I work in the healthcare profession. I've seen a lot of men come and go. Referring to our topic, the sex ruling black people, I've seen sex rule them brothers to the point where they can't even concentrate on their jobs. They've been got in trouble on their job, and some of them don't got fired over the years. You know what direction I'm going for? Sexual harassment. You know, he see a fine sister or a fine snow bunny out there on the job that he like, and he trying to holler at her, and she telling him she not interested in him, or he's not her type, or she got a husband, or she got a boyfriend, but he's sitting up letting sex rule his man, and it's don't get him in trouble, you know, and don't get him fired, you know, don't cost him his job. Brother, that's one of the worst, to me, that's one of the worst scenarios, one of the worst things you can do as far as letting sex rule you. You don't let sex get in the way of these right here. You don't let sex don't get in the way of that. You don't let sex get in the way of your money. That takes money to live. That's just not using common sense right there. That's just a lack of common sense and total programming by the European. You know, and like Permission Smiley Covington says, it's an agenda. It's an agenda out there that the European has, and a lot of our people are falling for it. A lot of our men are falling for it, and a lot of the sisters are falling for it as well, because tell you something, Jonathan. Yep, I don't have my issues, some of my conflicts in the past with the sisters, the black women, but they are my race of women. They the most beautiful, sexiest race of women on earth. I love black women, but our topic, the sex rule of the black community, is showing some of our sisters too, because in this younger generation now, Jonathan, you can't hardly run up on a fine, beautiful black sister without her saying she bisexual, saying she like men and she into females too. Now, somebody like me or you who want to settle down one day with somebody, I don't want to share my queen with nobody else. Now, the brothers out there who want to be players, who just want to, you know, that's probably fine for them. That's as good as they want it, you know, to go ahead and let sex rule them and get with two women at the same time, you know, and have two women serving them. I mean, that's as good. I mean, that's as good as the brothers who want to be players. I mean, that's as good as they want it right there. I mean, what player don't want no woman who swings both ways? But for the real men who want to build a foundation, who want to have a family, who want to build a legacy, I mean, they don't want no woman who's into other women. And, you know, go back to what I say, sex is just, you know, saturated the black community. It's just ruling us and, you know, just destroying us to the very core.
Yeah, and Stephanie said, choosing to be celibate the last few years have been the best decision I could ever make. I started to focus on me and what goals I wanted to achieve and push for a better future. Yeah, amen to that. Well, for me personally, I feel like a lot of brothers that you do see are very successful. They may have like a lot of wealth, but a lot of times though they're broke. Like a lot of NBA players, NFL players, especially they've made a lot of money, but right now after they retire, they don't have any money. Like AI and who else is like broke right after they like T.O. You know, a lot of brothers that's been out there womanizing and they was had good professions. A lot of times they broke because they wasn't really sticking to one woman. So that's one thing a lot of
Exactly.
brothers have to focus on is their self control and self discipline. And
And Mike Tyson is a perfect example, Jonathan. I'm glad you brought up the athletes. Because women have gotten Mike Tyson in trouble on numerous occasions. Now, me personally, now that last situation he got in real bad, it kind of brought boxing down for a while. That alleged rape situation. How you gonna rape a woman while you giving her oral sex? Now, I personally don't believe. I wasn't there, but I personally don't believe that Mike Tyson raped that young lady. But what I believe is this. Back during that time when that happened, it was a lot of athletes getting in trouble with those women. And the sports commission and the media and other powerful people, they got sick of them athletes getting in trouble about them girls, about them women, and they wanted to make an example out of somebody. And unfortunately, Mike Tyson was the one they chose to make an example out of because they got sick of those athletes getting in trouble about them women. And then another thing you was talking about the wealth, the athletes, they be wealthy, but by the time their careers end, they be broke. That goes back to Mike Tyson too. At one time, that brother was the baddest boxer on the planet. At one time, that brother made, it was one time in his career, one point in his career, that brother made Muhammad Ali look weak. And that's saying a lot. About the wealth thing you was talking about, Jonathan Collar. I agree. I don't understand what some of these brothers, some of these black athletes do, how they squander all this money they do. Because at one point in time in his career, at the highlight of his career, Mike Tyson was the most in-demand boxer on the planet. He could just about demand any salary he wanted for a fight. How you going to make over $300 million in the sport of boxing and you broke now? $300 million.
but yeah, though.
That's one. Do you know how much money that is? That is 1/3 of a billion. How you gonna have 1/3 of a billion and you broke? I understand. Don King stole a lot of money from him too. Promoters steal a lot of money from them athletes. They managers steal a lot of money from them. They mismanage money. A lot of them they make bad investments and what have you. But still, I don't understand how you have that kind of money and end up broke. I don't understand.
But yeah, though, Angelo, like I said, men are our biggest downfall, less to the eye, less to the flesh, and pride of life. So those are our biggest downfall. We have to do better with self-control, self-discipline. And that's something that I have to work on too, as far as my lusting. That's something I've got to work on too, because I kind of my mind can go elsewhere sometimes. So that is something I got to work on personally. But also too, my definition of the man who do have self control, self discipline. You see guys like Steph Curry, LeBron James, Russell Wilson and stuff. They're with their wives, and they're really, you can tell that the
Exactly.
wives.
Ice Cube. That's
Yeah,
what I respect about Ice Cube. I've never heard of Ice Cube getting caught up in any sexual scandal. He's still with the same queen he's been with for years and years. Denzel Washington. I've never heard of Denzel Washington getting in no type of trouble like that. Denzel and Ice Cube, those are two strong, classy black brothers. I've never heard. And, they still get a lot of their money. They didn't squander their money. Those two men, got a lot of wealth. Both of them brothers invested a lot of their money into the community and stuff. So, all brothers don't end up, broke with mass wealth, but quite a few of them do. More of them do than don't.
yeah. My whole thing is like if you're an athlete, especially you're getting paid the top dollars. You've been in the league for like 5, 6 years. You should be able to you should be able to do your profession for 5 to 6 years and have enough money to retire for your great grandkids. If you manage your money right, you're not buying all your cars and houses, etc. Like I said, I don't mind the first few years you go out there living at large, but you've been in the league 6, 7 years. There's only so much money you can make, only so many things you can do with that money. So you need to be trying investing, saving it up for a rainy day. And that's why now what a lot of brothers are doing. They're allowing, a lot of women to get to them, and they feel like, you want to have a whole bunch of women, but at the end of the day, you see the ones stay faithful to just one woman. You see how much money, how much wealth they attain. Like LeBron James, Russell Wilson and stuff. Like he's the highest paid NFL quarterback, and LeBron James, he's about to be a billionaire. He's about to be an owner one day. So you see the power of a woman, especially a black woman that's by your side, and y'all can coexist. So that's something that a lot of brothers got to realize too. Have that strong woman in your corner and stay loyal to her, stay faithful to her and stuff.
I see Tina Chris's comment that Samuel L. Jackson is still with his queen. I mean, yes, Samuel L. Jackson is, yeah, but and I love Samuel L. Jackson. I think he's one of the most phenomenal actors on the planet. And I mean, to me, it's almost criminal after all these years. Samuel L. Jackson, has never won an Oscar. I love Brother Jackson. I love his talent, but he's been known for years for notoriously cheating on his wife, notoriously being unfaithful to her. But she's stuck by his side. I mean, I think a lot of the loyalty is, she knows if she goes, she's not gonna run into too many men, who get what Samuel L. Jackson has, and maybe a lot of it, then maybe also a lot of it is she just loves her husband. I respect Samuel L. Jackson's talent, but I mean that brother hasn't been loyal to his queen over the years, and it's been well publicized.
Yeah, I mean, and then the fact that you see like a lot of black women staying by their man, even when he has cheated. You just see how much hurt she has to go through, like Bill Cosby and stuff. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of women go through and stuff, and we just as men just gotta stay focused on building, grinding, and quit just allowing our head, our small head, to override our big head. I feel like we can be key. We can be a lot farther ahead. We just take the time to focus on the head on our shoulders, as opposed to the one between our legs and stuff.
Jamie Love just scrolled by. Jamie Love made a good point.
She said they buy bundles and booty for these chicks, but there is no college fund for their kids. Yeah, they're not leaving
exactly
any kind of
it goes on.
Yeah, any kind of legacy for their kids, their great grandkids, etc.
Yeah, but they go in. But like I said, our topic rule in 6. These brothers, they go in these shake joints and stuff, and they spend they spend a small fortune, amass a wealth, on these old nasty strippers and stuff, but they not putting anything back for their future, putting anything back for their children's future, what have you. But they letting sex rule them. They spending money on strippers, and you would be surprised how many married brothers out there who are addicted to prostitutes. They spending a lot of money on, a lot of money that could be going in the home is being spent on prostitutes.
Yeah. So basically, let's get our priorities straight. It's about family and building. Women that and a lot of times it's our lust, our ego, stuff that overrides a lot of that stuff too. Because common sense will tell you that your woman, your kids come first, but a lot of times, your entertainment, your lust factor, would choose you going to a strip club and stuff. So. But it's so funny, you'll say, you'll go spend this money on a stripper who has no good intentions for you, but you'll go out there and tell a woman she's a gold digger because y'all go out on a date and she's trying to invest in you and vice versa.
Exactly. I've never understood that. A brother will sit up and call a decent woman wants a little something, call her a gold digger.
Yeah.
But you will go out there and in one of these shake joints and you'll make it rain. You'll make it rain with one of these. You'll make it rain with them old nasty strippers. You'll still make it rain with them. But the average woman asks you for a little something, asks you to take her out on a date or help her with a bill or what have you. She's a gold digger. She after what you got and what have you. Those are backwards priorities. Those priorities are backwards. I mean, we as black kings, we need to, we need to do better. And then another thing I want Another thing I want to elaborate on, a lot what my girl, what my girl, my beautiful little sister Asia Farmer talks about a lot about sex, about sex ruling the black community. I don't understand how a man, I talk about a woman, if she won't have sex with him, she's stuck up. She thinks she too good for me. She don't want to give up the skins. She don't want to give up the thighs. Then if the woman does give it up, she's still shamed. Oh, she's a hoe. She's a thought. She ain't got no she loose. She ain't got no standards. Man, I'm gonna call my homeboy too and see if she let my homeboy hit it too, since she don't let me hit it. I mean, it's like, like I was saying last week. They like exactly. It's like a sister damned if she do and she damned if she don't.
Yeah.
If she have sex with you, she messed up. If she don't have sex with you, she still messed up, gonna get dragged through the mud and called all kind of names.
Yeah, like I said, she had sex with you early, you're a hoe, you're a slut, but she wants you to wait, actually get to know you. Oh, you asked for too much, you're trying to use me for my resources, my time, my money. And then also too about money too, is just a lot of times these brother gotta realize a lot of these women do for themselves, so they don't really need your money, so
Exactly.
they're gonna get by with or without your money and your resources. So you're really not doing much to her, So, but going back to the subject about, sex, I feel like it does cloud your memory because like a lot of times dudes feel entitled to a woman's body because you took her out. Like, no, sir, you don't. She don't want to give your body because you took her out to Red Lobster or Olive Garden, etc. Because you're helping her out with her yard work, you're helping her out with dishes, etc. She doesn't have to give you her body just because you're doing all that. And we have to be better people to do it just out of kindness of our heart and not try to feel like we have to that she owes us something. If you feel me?
No, that's right. Just cause you don't treat her to a 19.99 lunch for two special at Red Lobster or Burger King or wherever y'all went to, that don't automatically mean you automatically entitled to that woman's body. That don't mean you entitled. That does not mean that. You do the least little thing for a woman. That don't mean you entitled to her body.
Yeah.
But like you were just saying, Jonathan, these women now, they doing it big. They doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
Cause out there, the hospital I work at, it's sisters out there that's doctors, it's sisters out there that's nurses, it's
Are you there?
sisters out there that are medical specialists, it's sisters out there that are nurse practitioners. I mean, and I'm talking about some of these women making money in like the 6-figure range. They don't need your little coins. A lot of these sisters just want somebody to spend some time with, and want somebody who's gonna treat them right, and they essentially looking for a strong brother who they can build with. They're not gonna respect somebody who just look at them as no sex object. All you look at them at, you just look at them as some thighs, as a booty call. They not go respect that because they know you don't value them. You just trying to make them. You just allowing sex to rule you, and you just trying to use that woman as another notch under your belt.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like you're not really, like I said, you're not entitled to her body or time. Like I said, just having sex, generally speaking, it's like I said, I don't have an issue with it, but you gotta make sure that you're on your grind, you focus, and you're able to manifest in this world, and everything's about, has sex, you gotta be about building and leaving a legacy behind. Okay. Jamie says zero respect for black women. Yeah, it is really sad that we degrade our own women, but at the same time, though, we want somebody to sit there respect our mother. Hello? No,
I'm here.
no, I was saying you want someone to respect your grandmother, your mother, your daughter, your sister, your niece, but you can't have respect for someone else's daughter. You
I
know.
say that all. I say that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yep, I say that all the time. Some of those main brothers who are disrespectful to women. If somebody disrespected their niece or their mother or their little sister or whatever, they be or their favorite female cousin, they be ready to shoot you. But they, on the other hand, though, they want to disrespect somebody's mother or their sister or their niece or what have you. So you need to show. So you need to show those women the same respect that you want somebody to show the women in your lives and the women in your family.
Yeah, and then let's also talk about inappropriate pictures, like sitting dick pictures, and that's really uncalled for. You shouldn't be doing that unless she asked for it. You shouldn't be sitting here the type of videos or the type of pictures in our inbox. Let's be a little bit more respectful too. You know.
And then a lot of time what make it so disrespectful, their brothers are sending those kind of pics into a woman's inbox and know she got a boyfriend or a husband or something. That's just crossing the line right there. I mean, they're just crossing. That's highly disrespectful. That's highly inappropriate. And I'm not saying all brothers, but some of us definitely need to do better.
Yeah, man, that's something we gotta work on and do our better, have better judgment, and be able to control our head between our legs. 'Cause that's really one of our biggest downfall. Like I said, product life. Uh, you know, that's one thing that we really got to focus on and do a lot better with is controlling our lust, controlling and having better self discipline and stuff.
Something, Jonathan, I'm glad you brought that up because now I've been off child support about 3.5 going on 4 years now. Okay, the day that I had to go to court when the judge took me off child support. Okay, there was a brother who had a case. There was a brother whose case was in there before mine, and he had several children. And the judge, he got mad at the judge. The judge was a brother too. The judge was black. The judge was a brother. This brother gonna get mad at the judge, and cause the judge charged him more child support, ordered him to pay more child support for one child than he did the other child. And the brother act like he wanted to get an attitude with the judge. He like, Your Honor, I don't mean to get small, but why you got me paying all of this money for this child and I ain't hardly paying nothing for that other child? The judge told him, let me tell you something, bro. He said, first of all, this is my courtroom. He said, I asked the questions up in here. He said, but since you asked me a question, he said, I'm going to go ahead and answer it for you. He said, when you put yourself in that position, when you went out there and chose to lay down with multiple women and have multiple kids by multiple women, he said, you put yourself in that position, shilling out all that child support money like that. When you went out there and chose to sleep with multiple women, and now you paying the consequences for it. That brother was speechless, John.
Yeah, I mean that's what we got.
That brother couldn't say nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Then you talk about getting wealth. I mean, you're not gonna be able to get that much wealth if you have 5, 6 different baby mamas and they're all taking child support from you. You're not gonna be able to be living comfortable. So we just gotta do better with protecting ourselves, protecting our seeds, etc. 'Cause a lot of brothers we have your seeds scattered. You may have 2 in Georgia, 2 in Miami, 2 in California. It's like you just gotta do a better job with protecting yourself. And quit just allowing that moment to override the feeling.
And you gonna be able to amass zero wealth like that, cause you gonna have a bunch of little obligations and little seeds running around. You gonna have at least 18-year obligation with each one of them. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, brothers need to stop thinking with that head down here and start thinking with this head. Start thinking with this head up here more.
Yeah, and like we got.
Who wants child support taking a whole check? I know I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You able to build, you got like 4 or 5 different baby mamas and stuff. That's not a way to sit there and build with nobody. Like I said, 1 or 2, that's okay. But 5, 6 that baby mama like Future and stuff. I mean, you got a whole football team, a whole basketball team. That's crazy right there.
Future ain't the only one, and Future ain't the only one. Future ain't the only rapper. Ain't no need everybody picking on Future because I'm sure you familiar. I'm from Memphis. I'm sure you familiar with the popular Memphis rap group that went nationwide, worldwide, 3 6 Mafia. I'm sure you heard of them. You familiar with them?
Yeah.
It's a it's a member of their group called itself Crunchy Black. A member of 3 6 Mafia named Crunchy Black. It was a lot of child support coming out of his royalties. Because Crunchy Black had a lot of baby mamas. He had a lot of children. And they was taking child support. They was taking child support out of his royalty checks.
Yeah, and then a lot of brothers will sit there complaining to women about child support, but it's like you put yourself in that predicament. You couldn't think what the hell your shoulder and stuff. So that's just like I said, that's just doing the bare minimum stuff, anyways.
Exactly. That's just like you said. They're just doing the bare minimum because I mean you can let, like our topic, you can let sex overrule your man or whatever, you cloud your judgment. But the bottom line is, if you go out here and make these kids, if you go out here and impregnate these women, you go out here and produce these seeds, you go take care of them. If they go lock your ass up. They go take your driver's license. If you own a business, they go take your business license. Them folks playing for keeps down there. They gonna make your life miserable, making you do something that you're supposed to be doing anyway, making you fulfill an obligation you're supposed to be fulfilling anyway. So you go out there and have all them kids, go out there thinking you're doing something big time, knocking off, smashing all them honeys. Yeah. If you get them honeys pregnant, you gonna take care of them kids, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, but Jamie said Flavor Flav. Crystal said Crunchy Black. What the world? But
yeah,
no.
but you know what? But one thing I respect about Flavor Flav was taking care of his kids. He was paying his child support, and a lot of times when his daughters were out of school for the summer and what have you, back in the day when Publican was real big, when they would go on tour or whatever, Flavor Flav would have his daughters he would have his 2 daughters right by his side. Now, they can say, now, I don't like the idea that Flavor Flav was, he had impregnated his queen a couple of times, and he to marry her. Now, if I ever met Flavor Flav in person, I'd have a little conversation with him about that. But other than that, I'd take my head off to the brother. He was a good father. He was a good, them young ladies now, they grown. But he was a good father to his children. Flavor Flav was taking care of his. Now, I don't know what Crunchy Black was doing for his, but I know for a fact Flavor Flav was taking care of his kids.
Oh, what's going on, Asia? But yeah, though, like I said, I mean, those fathers you have like a lot of kids out of wedlock, and they are fathering their kids doing beyond just child support. I do give y'all credit though. I ain't gonna see and bash y'all. Y'all doing what y'all gotta do. I do appreciate what y'all gotta do. To not be in a situation, you gotta make sure you protect yourself. What's your thoughts about what's your thoughts about the sex education back in school? Is it too much? Is it too lenient? Like, what's your take on that?
They need it back. They need it back in schools. They need it in schools because, unfortunately, look, a lot of times now, the white parents, Jewish parents, they sit their kids down and talk to their kids about sex. A lot of times, unfortunately, in the black community, black kids got to learn about sex out in the streets. Well, I don't know what it is about, black parents that they feel embarrassed talking to their kids about sex. Because I set my boys down, and had that conversation with them, It's just something about our people. We don't believe in counseling. We don't believe in going to a counselor. A lot of black people don't believe in counseling.
Therapy.
And black people don't believe in sitting their children down and talking to them about sex. And there's no shame in it. I mean, I'd rather sit down and talk to them about it than, they go out there in the streets and learn about it the wrong way. Because it's all kind of bad habits out there, just, dying to be picked up out there. You
Yeah,
know, that's what we as parents don't realize. You can raise your children the best way you can, but you are not your kids' only influence out there. Good influence or bad influence, positive or negative influence. You are not your children's only influence out there.
yeah. I mean, I do agree with you. That's the whole thing. Situation with Dwayne Wade's son. You know, I would have said him now, like, hey, you know, you're a little bit too young, trying to deal with women or girls. You know, I want you to focus on your school, your education. You know, I want you to be a kid because once you do become an adult, you know, that's when life happens. I want you to enjoy your youth, enjoy being a kid, and you know, I'm proud of you, but that's a little bit too of the extreme to be knowing about sex at a young age. You know, not to know about it, but just trying to get involved and stuff. But if you're curious, then I'm an open ear for you. I'll let you know what the do's and don'ts. 'Cause I do want you to know. I do want you, if you do tend to have sex, then you know you can come to me. You don't have to sit there and sneak and hide. You know, you can come talk to me. You know, and that's what you got to have that open door for your daughters and your sons as well too.
Exactly. And sex don't have to be a dirty word. It can be explained to your children in an intelligent manner. A lot of black people feel like talking to their kids about sex is a dirty word. Okay, like one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite classics is Boys in the Hood. Now, Lawrence Fishburne's character Furious Styles. Now, he was a strong black father. Now he took his son and raised them, to be a man and what have you. I take my head off this character for that. But one thing I didn't like about Furious's character, when he was talking to his son about sex, I didn't like how Furious, I didn't necessarily like how he portrayed women. He portrayed women as like sex objects, where he was in the movie, the scene where he was parody sniffing his son like, I don't know, hey, you got some pussy yet, He was sending the wrong message to his son. He was sending the message that, women basically ain't number sex objects, women ain't number basically just a piece of ass, a piece of tail,
But yeah, I want to
I
take
don't like the way I don't like the way that Furious Styles character in Boys in the Hood. I don't like the way his character portrayed women. But other than that, outside of that, the man, he did an outstanding job of raising his son.
But yeah,
outside of the way he portrayed women.
But yeah, I want to piggyback what you said about the father. Like I said, you got to have the talk as far as it being equal. Because a lot of times you have the father telling the daughter, make sure you close your legs, but he lets the son do whatever he wants to do. That's not good parenting. You want to make sure that they both are equally like, hey, y'all choose to have sex, and y'all understand there is a consequence. You could become a pregnant woman, or you could have a bastard child. I'm not saying bastard child. You could have a child. So you just got to make sure that you do engage in it. You always protect yourself. You always be responsible, and you can't get disease from this. You always have to always talk about the side effect too. It may feel good, but at the same time, you always got to make sure that you protect yourself, man and woman. Right? And there shouldn't be no double standard. As far as a woman, you can't sleep around, but then your brother can. That doesn't really equate well with me.
I see one of Jamie Love's comments said she said mental health is ignored. I agree. I was saying a lot of times, us as black people, we don't believe in things like counseling, getting professional help, mental help. A lot of us, I don't know why I don't know why those things are, frowned on in the black community, because those things are desperately needed in the black community. And there's no shame in admitting if you need some help, in some areas. There's no shame in, there's no shame in it, in admitting it. And Asia Farmer, my beautiful little sister Asia Farmer, saying this is why they should monitor what children are watching on TV.
Envy is
They remind me something. Yep. TV is full. TV is, that's where sex is.
Social media too.
TV, that's where sex is definitely programming kids' minds, especially black kids, the black community. Cause that TV show, Modern Family, I hardly ever watch that show because I ain't gonna lie, I got a serious issue with that gay couple, the two gay men on that show, raising that little black girl. I mean, what kind of values? I mean, what kind of values are two gay men? What kind of values are two gay men teaching? They not to me. They not qualified to raise no strong black queen because for one, they can't. They got the wrong skin color. They can't teach that. They cannot teach that girl about racism, and then they can't teach her about black family structure. They can't teach her about family structure. Period. How husband and wife function because they two men who in love with each other. They two men living together. You know, I really don't think no kids should be watching that. That's an interesting point that Asia Farmer brought up. And then another thing, I had a real close friend. I used to live next door to back in the day, Jonathan. Her girlfriend would not let her daughter watch Three's Company. You know, that old company, Three's Company with Jack, Janet, and Chris in them in it. Because she wouldn't let her child watch Three's Company because she felt like Three's Company was too sexually suggestive. You know, with the landlord, Mr. Robert, thinking that Jack was gay and all of that. You know, she didn't think that was appropriate for her daughter to be watched. She thought Three's Company was too sexually suggestive, so she wouldn't even let her child watch Three's Company. And now these comedies and these TV shows and stuff, now they got stuff on them that's way worse than Three's Company was. Now you can, you know what I mean? Now you can, you know, it hasn't gotten better. It's gotten worse. You know, they got lesbian couples raising babies, homosexual couples raising babies, you know. And this stuff is an agenda that's being programmed into black minds. And, you know, and unfortunately, a lot of our people have fallen for this, for this garbage, have fallen for this propaganda. To me, it takes a mother and a father to raise a child. Not no two men, not no two women. But like I said, that's going against God's law. And what kind of values are they being taught? And they not being taught to see how a husband and wife interact with each other. Asia Farmer saying she don't watch TV, period. It's so much sexual corruption on there. It's so much corruption on them. But Asia, it's always gonna be some stuff out there that's gonna give people ideas, you know, that they can't handle. Cause just like, you know, I used to love to watch the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I used to love Freddy Krueger. I mean, but I'm a rational thinking adult. I know can't no killer pop up in my dreams with no dirty sweater on and no big long claws and, you know, and kill me in my dream and I end up dead for real. I mean, I know that's just entertainment, but I understand the direction you're going, Asia. It's some stuff being programmed out there that's giving weak-minded people ideas they cannot handle. They can't distinguish reality from fantasy. Because when the Set It Off movie was real popular back in the day, you had some of our people sitting up trying to rob banks after watching the Set It Off movie. They go out there and they was going out there trying to rob banks. I mean, if your man that weak, you know, you don't need to be watching that kind of stuff. If stuff is going to give you ideas that you can't handle, I agree that you don't need to be looking at that. And unfortunately, sex has been so saturated into the black community. It's giving a lot of our people out there, unfortunately, giving us ideas that we can't handle. And another thing I want to talk about, Jonathan, one thing that Asia brings up a whole lot, where this, I'm going to tell you something, what I'm about to say, this ain't nothing but sex ruling brothers, where brothers just want to go out there where they just basically want to have all the poontang they want. This stuff about this having more than one wife, this having multiple, these brothers trying to promote, you know, having multiple wives, trying to promote polygamy. Now, polygamy, these brothers, I'm gonna tell you something. The black community as a whole, we too doggone broke to be talking about polygamy. Them brothers just want some extra tail. They just want some extra poontang. They just want some in-house ass. They just want to be able to have just as many women as they can have. Because if you go by the strict African laws of polygamy, polygamy was set aside for wealthy African men of extreme wealth. Those were men of extreme wealth who could afford to take care of multiple families with no problem. The average brother out here, that broke joker can't even take care of one family. He can barely take care of himself. So how you go talking about you want polygamy, talking about polygamy is the answer to a lot of these black women problems, one man having 5, 6 wives, one man having 5 and 6 women. Brother, those were for African men of extreme wealth who can afford to take care of multiple families. A lot of y'all broke tails can't take care of one family. The judge had to get on a lot of y'all just to make y'all pay child support. So how y'all go sit up and uphold polygamy unless you gonna make those women work, and basically live off of their money? That's the only way I can see that working, and a black queen would be stone cold crazy to go for something like that. A black queen, a white queen, Latino queen, Asian queen, any woman would be stone cold crazy to go for something like that. Original polygamy, according to African laws, that was for men of extreme wealth. It wasn't for no broke men. Our people, see, it goes back to our topic, saturated by sex. Our people get so saturated in sex that we'll let it cloud our judgment, and we'll let it make us want to touch avenues we ain't even got no business touching. Ain't no broke man who can barely do for himself, Jonathan. He ain't got no business touching the avenue of polygamy. That was for men with money. That was for men with moolah. Polygamy, having multiple sex with multiple women, is not for no broke man. That's not for nobody. That's not for nobody broke. Those were for men of extreme wealth. Them brothers just want some extra tail. That's what them brothers want.
Yeah, what's going on, Miss Johnson? What's going on, Marie? I mean, my thoughts about polygamy, I feel like it's real selfish. Like I said, you can't take care of your own self, let alone trying to deal with multiple women. I don't really feel like you even have time to really deal with that many women like that, especially working 80, 90 hours a week. You barely have time for one. Spend all enough time for one woman, let alone trying to deal with 3, 4, 5 different women and stuff. So to me, it's real selfish. Like I said, I mean, those who do it, I mean, that's, props to y'all. But for me personally, I really couldn't do that. That's too selfish. I won't have that much time to be spending with each one, and I'm really selfish. I would be really feel like someone is leaving out, is being left out.
Ain't that much time or value in the world.
And I mean, like I'm saying, you sitting there working 8, 10 hours a day, and then you try to, deal with multiple women and their different needs and wants, and it'd be a headache. Not saying so much the woman, but I'm just saying the whole concept. They might not get along, etc. But for those who yeah, expensive too. Yeah, it could be expensive too. Those who work it, who practice it. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, for me personally, that ain't really for me. That's, it can't add up. Nah, brothers ain't making that kind of money.
Of course, we can add up. That goes back to what I was saying. What Brianna Marie goes back to what I was saying about the money thing. Original polygamy, according to the laws of according to the old laws of the African land, that was set aside for wealthy African men of extreme wealth, who with no problem could afford to take care of multiple families like that.
Yeah, saying, like I said, you wealthy and you have the type of time to do it and go for it. But for me personally, I don't have that much time, and I ain't got time to be doing all that with multiple women, and that's just not me. So You know, to each his own. You know, I ain't here to sit and
To
judge
each his own.
nobody.
Yep. I
Yeah,
mean, like
it's
today,
not for me.
back today standards, if they gonna legalize polygamy here in America, yeah, somebody like Jay-Z or somebody like Will Smith or somebody like Ice Cube or Denzel Washington would, they would have the money to exercise polygamy. But I mean, how many brothers got they kind of money? It ain't but a handful of brothers in this world got those kind of gentlemen's money that I just mentioned. Those gentlemen who I just mentioned, it ain't but a handful of brothers got that kind of money. It ain't but a handful of brothers will ever see that kind of money. So polygamy is that's for folks with money. Polygamy ain't meant for no broke man. Just like my late auntie, God rest her soul, when this drug epidemic first got real bad, this cocaine epidemic, folks buying this crack cocaine and buying this pure cocaine and all that. One thing my aunt always used to say, John, but she said, that's a rich man's high. That ain't for no broke man. So that's a rich man's high right there. The same way with polygamy. That's a rich man's high. That is not for no broke man.
Yeah, like I said, I ain't here to judge nobody, but I'm just saying, for me personally, that ain't really for me.
I'm not here to judge anybody either, but that's not for me. I mean, my two sons, it was enough of a struggle raising them, making sure they had everything they needed. I mean, they might not have had everything they wanted, but they had everything they needed, and I mean, if a brother want to do it, I mean, and if sisters go along with it, I mean, more power to you, but I can't do it. I still got goals, plus I still got goals to achieve. I don't have the time to do it. I ain't got the time or the energy for that type of foolishness. I can't do it.
But yeah, though, like I said, I'm about to wrap it up real quick. Got head on out. So, like I said, I appreciate you joining me tonight.
No problem.
You know, like I said, anybody that want to join me in any kind of debate discussion, let me know, and I'll bring you on. But yeah, thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure y'all like this video, and make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel as well, Everyday Thoughts JC. So, I appreciate Angelo. Next time, we're going to chop it up again. All right, man?
All right.
All right, peace, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Peace out.